Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Just Plain Living. I'm John Gray, and it's cold outside.
Baby, it's cold outside. I'm Peggy Burton. Good morning.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
Hey.
It is cold outside today.
Nah, 32 degrees. Y'all, wait till it's cold in China or somewhere else.
Well, it's cold when it's 70. What, 3 days ago it was 70?
Yeah, that's what
I
kills
have
you,
buttercups coming up and blooms on all my bushes. Do you have that?
Nah, I hadn't paid that
It's
much
just-
attention.
Just really strange. Winter is here.
It is here. And last night, all of the trees had ice on
They
them.
did. That was actually kind of
Early on in the
I could see
evening.
that, and so
It was-
maybe I'm too far south out there toward Winchester.
You're headed toward the Alabama line, aren't you,
Right.
girl?
Yeah, we, those of us who have lived here for a while remember the horrors of, I think it was about 93.
Oh, I remember
yeah.
that.
When we had the ice storm.
I remember that
was
well.
Without power for several days, so.
I was all worried about my parents because there was no electricity, and so Ralph and I put on our boots and our parkas and whatever we can find and trudge to their house. And we get there, and my dad has got a gas fireplace, and he's got his skillet on the fireplace, and ham cooking, and eggs cooking, and coffee going.
Yeah.
So
One of my fond memories of that whole deal is that, well, I have a few because we had to open the Legion at that time for a shelter for those who had no power, but we had just put gas in my house, and there was a fireplace. No electricity, but we had
you had gas,
some
and
heat.
that's helped.
And this lasted, I think, 4 or 5 days, but for some of us. And we had this gas stove, cook stove, that we just got, and never had one before. And I didn't know that you could actually light one of those with a match. I thought, well, you got to do that electric thing for the spark. So we went 5 days and had no hot food in our
And you
house.
just never caught on.
If I had any sense at all, you could have took a match and lit that.
So
gas
that's
stove.
where Jenny gets it.
Yeah, that's where she gets it. I'm not real good at that kind of stuff.
Well, I would probably been afraid it would blow up or something.
Oh,
I had a
baby.
really good evening that day because if you remember how the Legion was during that time of the year, and it was right before Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And you're so busy, and every day there's an event and all that
Right.
kind of stuff. And I'm thinking about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Today is the last day it's over, because we were closed from then to Christmas. And it started sleeting, and I was telling everybody that was coming into my office, my accounting office, be careful, be careful, be careful. And then I heard something break, and I go over to the back door, open the door, walk out, fell off the steps, about had killed myself,
Pratfall, John Cook. Pratfall.
But I'm fine.
And so, once we get through that night at the Legion, because
Oh,
the
my
show
gosh.
goes on no matter how
Right,
bad
I
it
know,
hurt.
yeah.
So I think we were doing a karaoke deal that night. And I get home and lay down in the bed and think, oh my God, it's over for this year. And Wayne Limbo calls me. Jim, old buddy. That's always a bad sign.
Yeah.
That's
He
always-
wants something.
we've got people that are homeless and et cetera, and they don't have any heat. And said, can you open up the Legion and let us use this for a shelter for a few hours? Well, that turned into 3 days, but so that's how we spent Christmas that year. But
Yeah,
But thank
and the
goodness you had that place.
reason why was there's a line of electricity that runs to the hospital, to that area out there.
Oh.
That when most of the power can be gone, there's
They'll still have power.
there's still power running that way, and the Legion was on that line. And so when other people were without electricity, there was electricity there.
right.
My son gave me a home generator for Christmas.
Did he?
It's a tiny little thing, and you keep it plugged in, and if everything goes off, it'll work for 3 days. That you can make coffee, you can run your computers and whatever, and then after 3 days you have a little solar panel that maybe, if there's any sunshine, I guess,
Yeah.
or if there's light, it'll pick up some power.
It's
so
phenomenal.
I hope that works.
It's phenomenal how that's come along. We did a story, remember, John, about now they've got these units that do your whole house. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they run off natural gas. And so if your power goes off, they automatically
It just
kick on.
automatically kicks
yeah,
on.
and they're a little bit
That's
bigger
clever.
than a central heat and air conditioning unit, but they'll run your entire house.
That's
So
nice.
anyway, amazing. You guys were talking about Lance Armstrong earlier, and
Yeah.
I'm impressed Peggy knows about that.
Yeah, you were impressed.
Yes.
You just knew I wouldn't have any knowledge at all, but I keep up with Oprah and her interviews.
Yeah, that's what got you onto the story.
That's what got me onto the story.
Yeah.
But I guess he's.
And that's all you'll hear because the news media is forever searching for the fall of a hero.
Yeah.
Always. I mean, that's the greatest thing that they can find is someone who has been acclaimed and accredited to go bad.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there will be
Big news.
big news, and I guess there'll be lawsuits and all that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, I think there's some question about a lot of people that might have sponsored him at some point want their money,
Right, they want their money back,
their money back
or-
because he misrepresented
and
them.
somehow, in this, what I read is that some of that money would go back. That he had said he would give some of the money back. But where do you start?
But
I
John
don't know.
mentioned this earlier as well. People are becoming a little bit intolerant of that because the sports writers, I think, is the one that elect the Baseball Hall of Baseball Hall of Fame, and they declined to confirm Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens.
Yeah, they
and there was
didn't
somebody
put
else.
anybody in
They
this
didn't put
year.
anybody
Oh,
in there
really?
this year because there was certainly
There's
the
just too much
the
stuff.
cloud of steroid use of that sort of thing on those two, which is so different than. You got to give that some credibility. If you used illegal drugs to enhance your performance, how is that fair to the guys who played in the '60s and '70s who just did it on their own? I mean,
Well, but what you have to look at, and I heard a discussion about that the other day about the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown and all of that, which is a history of baseball,
Right.
and you can't say that the 10 years or the 12 years or the 15 years that people were using steroids, there was no baseball. That's part of the history of baseball.
yeah.
And you need to not necessarily embrace that, but you need to recognize it because that is part of the history.
Part of the history.
The Civil War wasn't a very nice part of our history,
Yeah.
but it was there. And you
I
can't
just don't know if
forget
I just
it.
don't know if you deserve to be recognized as one of the greatest players of all time if you did that.
Well, no, I mean,
knowing
Hall of
you did.
Fame's one
It's
thing,
hard
but-
to imagine. As you well know, I had the pleasure to be friends with Hank Aaron
Yeah.
for a while, and Hank would come in after a game. He was living in my motel because he had some marital
Yeah.
issues, but
Imagine it's funny how that happens.
yeah, it's
isn't
funny
it?
how that happens, and that was before. He had broken the record and all that. He was still just playing, but he'd come in, and Hank was not overweight, and had good speed, but he was a little bit pudgy in the middle, and come in, drink a few beers, and smoke his Winston cigarettes and and that kind of thing. But he was an exceptional athlete. I mean,
yeah, he was
absolutely, and but he did it pretty much, I'm sure, naturally.
Yeah,
So.
I think so.
Well, speaking about excelling, this past weekend something wonderful happened.
Great.
And I'm
hear
talking
something
about.
wonderful.
Well, you know about it. It's just the way I'm presenting it. We had a young lady from Tullahoma, Tennessee,
Yes,
end
yes.
up in the
Yes.
top 10 in the Miss America pageant. Chandler
That's
Lawson.
awesome.
And we are very, very proud of her. What an exceptional young lady she is. And as I watched that and watched, where you could see her from time to time moving around and the stuff that she was sending out and the team Chandler was sending out
Right.
about her, you think, okay, she's not Miss America, but you look at the people that she was around for that week, the contestants themselves, plus the stars and the Miss Americas from the
What a
past,
great
and
opportunity.
interacting
Young
with those
woman,
people
yes.
right there, I'll guarantee you, that opportunity will probably change her course and change her stars.
Right.
Although she's been a star
She's been a
all
star.
along,
She's
but
just an
that when
achiever.
you get involved in that type of situation at that level and meet those kind of people, whether the 3 or 4 judges pick you as the number one,
yeah.
and she's at the top.
Yeah, when you
Exactly.
get in the top 10, it could go
She's
easy.
at the top.
Wonderful,
Anybody could
yeah.
win that.
Sure.
At that
Well,
stage
Miss
of the
New
game.
York, for instance, I kind of took issue with, I don't believe in fighting violence with violence. Okay,
How you gonna do it?
Well, somebody comes. That was her
Yeah.
answer. Don't fight violence with violence. So if somebody comes at you with a machine gun, and you say, "Don't shoot me," well, they shoot you anyway.
Yeah.
So violence with violence might be good. I don't know. I disagree.
Well, they're under a lot of pressure when they're answering those
Yeah, I know.
questions, and they have to think of that answer in probably 10 seconds. And you got to remember, at their age, they don't have a lot of life experience to form those opinions. So that's why
maybe. But I don't know.
Well, and that's the reason
She was
that
pretty.
the
She
question
was pretty.
was the reason that Joan Myers from Tullahoma wasn't Miss America. She was the first runner-up.
Yeah.
Back, she was
remember that.
Joan was 2 years older than I am.
Yeah.
And she was first runner-up. She was not Miss Tennessee. She was, I think, Miss Georgia.
Yeah.
Because she had Mississippi and moved down there. And her question was about a special needs person. And she happened to have a brother who was a special needs person.
Yeah.
And that rocked her at that point. And any other question asked, she would probably be Miss America from Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Yeah.
But so it makes a difference in how it's presented to you and whether you're ready for that. And that was something that was it's the only question that was way out of left field. And you need to think about back in those days, the care of that type of individual was a whole lot different than it is now.
Today, yeah.
And the exception of that type of individual was a whole lot different.
I'd forgotten that Nancy Carr, who might have been about your age, from Tullahoma, she was from Tullahoma, but she was like the first run. She was Miss Georgia and was the first runner-up in the Miss America contest several years ago. But
So we've
We've had a lot of really interesting people
Yeah.
come out of Tullahoma. I mean, look at Katie Brock.
Katie Brock and-
distinguished young woman, and then Chandler being right up there in the top 10. I
Well,
think we
you've
have a lot to be
got,
thankful for.
Brian Morris.
Brian Morris, yeah.
Played pitching
Oh,
for the
yeah.
Pirates.
Well, we've
Yeah.
got a young man at the high school that plays trombone, Ricky Nelson, that's a top trombone player across the United States.
Really?
We've got
Ricky
John
Nelson?
Cook right here in this audience.
Ricky Nelson.
That's his name, Ricky Nelson. He's a wonderful trombonist. He was in
Mom, Ozzie, and Harriet.
and I'm sure there's a lot others.
Sure.
The young man that's the top singer. What's his name? Right now, it's just going over my head.
That's okay, Peggy.
He's coming on our show.
Nobody expects
He's
us to
coming on our
remember
show right
anything,
now.
so.
I can't think of his name. Anyway, he's wonderful. We got to go, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got to go. It's
I think
time to
it's
go.
time.
We'll get into the show. We're going to have some big fun today. Have a lot of stuff going on. Chief Blackwell's here. John Cook's here. There's going to be all kinds of things happening on Just Plain Living. We'll be back after these messages.
It's nice to see familiar faces while enjoying great Sears low prices at your locally owned and operated Sears hometown store in Tullahoma and Shelbyville. Mike and his crew are a premier dealer where you'll find great Sears quality and availability at the lowest prices guaranteed. Featuring Craftsman tools with Sears' famous lifetime warranty, Craftsman lawn and garden equipment, 10 major appliance brands featuring Kenmore, Electrolux and Whirlpool, Sealy bedding, Kenmore and Dyson vacuums, Nordic Track and Soul Fitness equipment. And if it's not on our shelves, it's available online at Sears.com with free shipping to either location. Sears Hometown Store in Tullahoma and Shelbyville. We're right in your neighborhood.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. we're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us on the show now the Tullahoma Police Chief, Paul Blackwell, who, by the way, is now going to be a regular part of our living show here. He's going to make bi-monthly appearances here to give us information about the Tullahoma Police Department or safety tips or that kind of thing. Paul?
Well, thank you, Jim. And as you did mention, we're going to do this every other week now, so I would encourage anyone that has a topic or a question to either get that to yourself or get it to me, and we'll be glad to discuss it. The whole intent of these get-togethers is to share information.
Exactly.
So if there's something they're interested in, please let us know. One of the things we talked about a couple of weeks ago was the winter driving tips. And we talked about that roller coaster we were on of the warm weather to cold weather. And I think the last couple of days, the cold weather has gotten us. So hopefully those winter driving tips we talked about 2 weeks ago, some people are putting those into practice and being cautious.
You know, you'll be happy to know that last night I was coming back from Winchester, and you know, it was about 9 o'clock, I guess, and I realized that it's below freezing and it's raining, and I'm thinking, you know what? I never packed this truck with all the essentials that Chief Blackwell advised us about, and then I realized that, you know, you really could slide off the road in those kinds of situations, and if it's dark, they might not find you till tomorrow sometime, you know.
And we've seen that just in this area where people have been stranded for a couple days at a time before they can be found. Right. And so it is imperative that you have some of those emergency supplies on hand for you. And
today's the kind of the weather right this week is weather that might remind you of that.
Yeah, and we'd like to think that we want to be proactive more so than reactive. And the worst time to think about it is when you are sitting in the ditch and there's no blanket, there's no water, there's no food.
Exactly.
So I would encourage everybody to do that. And if they need some of those tips, call the police department. I'll be more than happy to talk to them and share some of those ideas that we talked about 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. And those were good pieces of knowledge to know to keep you out of a bunch of trouble at this time of the year.
Yeah. So kind of in keeping with those winter driving tips in our previous session, today I'd kind of like to talk about traffic enforcement on a whole. Obviously, that's one of the important roles of law enforcement, and it's also one of those questions people often ask: why is there so much emphasis on traffic enforcement?
Sure.
And we have to look at why do we do it, period. The rules of the road are designed to make sure our roads are safe and the orderly movement of vehicles. I think we can all look, if we didn't have any kind of rules and it was do what you want to do, it'd be total chaos.
Exactly.
And so law enforcement is given that responsibility of ensuring that people do follow the rules of the road. I use that term rules of the road because that's how the state in the statute refers to it, rules of the road. So traffic enforcement is a major issue for us. And just enforcing traffic control oftentimes leads to other things as well. So, and we can talk about that in a minute, but if I were to ask you, as you drive around, what aggravates you about other drivers? We hear all types of things. We hear, well, the person that runs the red light, it's turned red, and here they come through the light. Or we hear people talk about the people they see roll through a stop sign.
Right.
When they come to a complete stop, but here's someone else that's going to roll through it.
I bet that happens a lot, doesn't it?
It does happen a lot. The way the statute, it says you will stop. And stop is stop. I oftentimes, when I happen to stop somebody for it, I like to equate in the role of a parent. If your child is jumping on the bed and you tell them to stop, does that mean just slow down?
Right.
Or does it mean, I told you, just stop?
Exactly.
And that's what a stop sign is. It is to come to a complete stop. And what officers often look at, and they should look at, is the tires. Does that tire stop, come to a complete stop where you can see it?
To the driver, they may think they've come to a stop, but that's just the momentum of the car moving back and forth. The wheels haven't actually come to a complete stop. So that is one of the pet peeves. Then we have people that live in neighborhoods where the speed limit's 30 miles an hour,
Right.
and they call someone is speeding through our neighborhood, and we tell them, well, it's 30 miles an hour, and they think that's too fast. And in a neighborhood, it may be, but it is the speed limit. That's the maximum speed, the maximum safe speed under the best conditions. So people have a lot of pet peeves as to, what they see someone else do, and they always say, well, where's a cop when you want them?
Yeah, but you're talking about neighborhoods though, and I think it makes people mad because if it's 30, that's maybe faster than you think, or you may think it's faster if you're watching it, and if you're in the car, it's not all that fast. But,
right.
But if you, on the other hand, you're doing 50, a lot of things can happen in a second that you can't react to, I would think.
Certainly, and as your speed increases, your reaction time decreases because you travel so much distance and the time it takes you for the mind to process everything. They've even done studies and tests on how quick can you take your foot off the gas and put it on the brake. I know when I was in the military, that was part of your driving test, was put your foot on the accelerator, they hit a light, and you had to take it off and hit the brake, and they timed it. And you had to be within a certain reaction time to pass your test.
Right.
Of course, we don't do something like that now.
Right.
But what it demonstrates is by the time you see a problem and then you react to it, how far have you driven? So it is, speed does have a correlation to stopping distance.
We put a lot of emphasis on don't drink and drive. Certainly don't do drugs and drive and that sort of thing. And everybody hears that, and hopefully they'll adhere to that. But we don't talk a lot, I guess, about obeying basic traffic rules and school zones. I would think it'd be a huge
school
problem.
zones. It's 15 miles an hour, and people. We find that we have most of our enforcement at the beginning of the year because you got to get back into that routine. But afterwards, the majority of people abide by the speed limit in the school zones. You do have those occasional ones that'll get stopped and the officer observes them passing everybody else, and you want to ask them that common question: why you think everybody was so? Why were you able to pass everybody? And then it kind of dawns on them that maybe I'm in the school zone.
Right.
And so that's very important, because obviously that's for the safety of the children, and safety of the children is one of our primary concerns. We had talked before about the drunk driving, that in 2012 alone we had 70 arrests for DUI. And that may not sound like a lot, but compared to the year before, we only had 43. So
big increase.
An increase, and as a result of drunk driving, we could have accidents, and when we have accidents, that costs money to repair your car. If you're arrested, that's a lot of money when you pay for an attorney, the bondsman, court fees.
Right.
So it becomes very expensive, and so we would caution people to consider the designated driver.
Absolutely.
And we talked about children. One of our major enforcements is child safety seats. We offer a free program where we give you a car seat, a booster chair, whatever you need. So there should be no reason that
and show you how to use it.
And we'll install it and show you how to use it.
Right.
So there's no reason that a child should not be properly restrained. And like you said, basic things like headlights out, tail lights out, registrations, insurance. Those may sound minor, but they're still things that we have to enforce.
Before we run, go ahead.
One of the things people don't understand, say your headlight's out, we'll give you a ticket for that headlight. And you may say, well, I got to go spend $50 to get my headlight fixed and then $165 for the ticket. But what we say is fix the headlight, take your receipt to court with you, and the judge generally dismisses the rest of the charges.
Right.
This is our way of saying, you got to fix this thing.
Right.
No.
You and I were somewhere, I think, doing an interview, and my camera person asked you something about, I think it was the turning lane. You recall that?
Yes. The center turn lane like we have on Jackson Street. That's always a major question. You can drive down Jackson, you see people using it as another lane of traffic,
Right.
As a merging lane, as a turning lane. And if you actually read the statute, that center lane is for left turns, and there's the rule. It's not to be a travel lane. You can't pass other cars in it. You're only supposed to get into that lane when you're ready to make your left turn.
Right.
So you don't drive halfway down Jackson Street to get to the intersection.
Exactly.
You stay in the regular traffic lane. Then when you get there, you get over into it, because other cars have the right of way. If they're in that lane before you are, they have the right of way.
Right.
So can you imagine someone waiting to make a left turn and here a car is coming down the...
Exactly.
So it's not a traffic lane. It's a left turn lane. If you're coming from a side street onto Jackson Street, you're supposed to pull into that lane and stop, and then wait to be able to get over, not drive again down the road until you can merge.
What about turning right on red lights? Is that permissible?
Right on red light is permissible. Okay. Unless there's a sign that says otherwise.
Yeah.
So in Tennessee, it's understood that you can turn right unless it's prohibited.
I asked that question because it's been a few years since I took the driver's test.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of those that, either just like a U-turn. A U-turn is illegal.
Right.
But then there are certain places that you can do a U-turn. So, you have to be cautious of what the signage is. Of course, we don't want to inundate our intersections with signs, because then you're not paying attention to your driving.
Exactly. Chief, I'm sorry to say out of time, but I bet if somebody has a question about the proper interpretation of any of the traffic laws in the city of Tullahoma, I bet you guys would be willing to.
We're more than willing to talk to people if they have a misunderstanding. So call 455-0530.
Okay.
And we'll talk to you.
All right. You can also call that number, I think, if you have a non-emergency instead of 911. Is that correct?
That's
3411.
Right.
Yeah.
3411 is actually the dispatcher.
Right.
If you call the 0530, that's headquarters.
Right.
And then they'll just have to transfer you to the dispatcher.
Right. Exactly.
So call the 3411 first if you need a policeman.
Right. And it's not a dire emergency.
Not an emergency, right.
All right, Chief, thanks so much for coming by today. Folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back in just a moment with more living.
Mark, you've won just about everything there is to win in racing. What's next?
I'd like more people to know about ER Extra.
The emergency room at Harton Regional Medical Center?
I just want them to get the best care they can get.
That just gets me right here, Mark.
Maybe you'd like to pay them a visit.
ER Extra at Harton Regional Medical Center.
ER Extra. Extra fast, extra easy, extra great.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
When you see the sign, The Main Event, take a close look inside at a hair studio that offers services by some of the best master stylists in Middle Tennessee. These stylists offer a list of services that compete with large city salons, from trendy cuts for men, women, and children to the latest color techniques, including highlights and bold color accents. Other services offered include permanent hair weaving and relaxing to formal hairstyle for that special occasion. You can also give yourself a very special treat with a full makeover, including full body waxing. For your convenience, we are open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until the last client leaves happy. Call and make your appointment at 931-571-8682 or stop by our Tullahoma location at 207 North Jackson Street. Pamper yourself at The Main Event today.
long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Hello folks, welcome back, and it is always time, warm or cold, to talk about blood. You got blood, I got blood, all God's children got blood. And all God's children, some of God's children need blood from time to time, and that's why Landon B. Todd is here with the American Red Cross to talk to us about blood.
Well, thank you for having me. There's, like you said, there's always a need for it. 365 days a year. There's not a way to manufacture it yet, so we're still having to get it from folks. And this time of year, it's always difficult because you have flu season in, and like this morning, school closings that hamper, blood donations. I was up probably.
Well, just getting people out. This weather like this, it's hard to go, well, I'm going to go give blood today. I think I'm just going to stay at home and have another cup of coffee and read a book.
It is. When it's rainy and cold, and it's much easier to stay inside and than to get out. But, you always have to keep the end in mind. When you're talking about anything, you got goals and where you want to go.
Sure.
And that's what I guess keeps me going, is that end in mind is that patient that needs blood most of the time.
In a critical situation.
And most of the time when they go to some place like Vanderbilt, they're using 10 times the amount of products as normal people would, and it takes a lot to, if you've got someone that needs 12 units of platelets, that's 12 people. That's almost a full blood drive for us here. So it's, the need's always there, and it's always, people, I think you get tired of hearing that and get used to hearing it so much that it's kind of, someone else will do it,
I've always sort of found it that there are blood donor people and there's just not blood donor people.
You're absolutely right.
And the ones who are blood donors are very, very responsible about it. And the other ones, really, it's just something that, there's a blood drive, they're right on by. But what happens, I think, and it did with me, is once you give, if you give one time, and because there's a little bit of fear with some people that goes along with it.
Correct.
Some people are uncomfortable. I know Fran's sister Candy, my sister-in-law, Candy faints. And it's not anything bad. It's just some people, when they give blood, they
get very nervous.
I think, I don't know if it's the nervousness that does it or something else, but sometimes she lays down to do it because they don't know whether she's going to go out or not.
Just go ahead and get her prepared, huh?
Yeah, but so that fear, there's a little bit of fear is involved there. But I think people who give, once you give and get past that first time, and you talk to somebody else there, and somebody else says, well, I've given 3 gallons, or a gallon, I've got my gallon card, or I've got my 2 1-gallon card, and you're thinking, wow, this is not bad. I want to get a gallon card. So all of a sudden you've created a really good giver of blood.
Correct.
And we all need to try it one time to get past that fear.
It is. It's a lot of fear, and I tell people when they're first-time donors, I'm not going to tell you that it don't hurt because it's a big needle, and it sometimes it does. People's pain tolerance is different.
Sure.
I'm not going to tell you that you won't pass out, but you'll live. That's the main thing. You're not going to die from it. People do get nervous. And then there are people that generally want to give but can't. whether it's medications or
medication is
or a height and weight
kept me from
requirement,
giving.
or there are some reasons that people can't give. If you've been overseas in a certain military background, they won't let you give because of mad cow disease. But for the most part, you're looking at 3 to 5% of the population actually donate.
Right.
When there's a lot more that could, they just don't take the time to do it. It takes about 30 minutes, top to bottom, if everything goes right. Every 56 days, somebody can donate for whole blood, and it really is when you get to meet the patients on the other end that receive it. It makes all the people that tell you no worthwhile.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it really does, and it's it always is going to be a constant need, and you'll always hear, we need O negative. Right now is a big campaign for O neg because you have a lot of injuries, a lot of things going on in the first part of it, and it uses that O neg up supply really quickly. So there is a call out for that. O negative is a universal donor, means that anybody can receive O negative,
right.
But not everybody can give that. Right. And when people have accidents or there's an emergency situation and they don't have time to type the blood,
they can use O negative.
They use O negative. That's the first thing they pull off the shelf.
Right.
So.
Right.
It's not just a hoax when someone says we're low on O neg, and it's probably right because that's the first thing that they do.
First thing it goes.
I was talking with Vanderbilt Life Flight, and they use about 6 units on that airplane. It stays there all the time for them. So it's constantly a need. We have community drives, every month. I was talking to you earlier. The First Christian Church in Tullahoma, they've done the second Tuesday of every month for as long as I can remember.
25, 30 years, I guess.
Yeah, and they've recently built not recently, it's been done for quite a while, but the old post office building in the back of it, they let us use that building. So need some donors to come out from this area to help support
That's a real comfortable building. We're real proud of that. That's where I go to church, and we're real proud of that building. And the facility's nice, and it's open, and it's easy, and it's a place that you can go in, and it's not very churchy. No, it's just a nice, comfortable place to go and talk.
I think sometimes people get a idea in their head that if you don't go to First Christian Church, you can't go there to get blood.
Yeah, possibly so.
Or in Shelbyville, we have it at the First Baptist Church there, and in Manchester, we do the First Baptist Church there. They allow us to come and, host it there, but it doesn't mean that you have to be any denomination at all to come. So we want to make sure that people are aware of that, and that they will come out and support it, the second Tuesday of every month. So it's definitely, open for, we've tried to make it as convenient for this community to help out as possible, and we need donors and need volunteers to help make it run.
And now I might be wrong here, but I know Jacob after his accident started giving blood, gives a lot of blood because he produces a lot of blood. But there are times now, y'all test. I mean, when somebody comes in, you'll test them and say, well, you don't need to do right now. But then I know sometimes when he can't give whole blood, he'll give platelets.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that you can do.
Right.
That help, but you folks won't allow anyone to do something that will hurt them.
That is correct.
A normal person who comes in and does a normal give, you test them, you go, well, maybe, this time your something's a little bit low.
Your iron.
your iron's low, so we don't want to take from you this time because it might hurt you.
Right.
So y'all are very protective.
There is a lot of things that go into it. They do a pre-screening of health. They do your blood pressure and your iron check and temperature. And then they ask you a lot of questions about, your life, where you been, what you been doing, basically how I put it. And then if you pass all of that, then you're able to give.
Right.
you know, one of the things that knock people out, or women most of the time, is iron level. So that's it. You have to be a certain iron level to make sure it gives, that you can give. And they'll let you know. They prick your finger and they go out and they'll spin it around, and you're either good or you're not.
Okay. Well, Anna, how do people need to get in touch with you? Is there a certain way people can get in touch with you to find out when the next blood drive is and what's going
Absolutely. You can reach me. My cell phone number is 615-308-7426. That's my. You can text me or call, either one, or email. I get all of that. Lana Butod at redcross.org, or they can go on to redcrossblood.org and pull up, you know, where all of the donation sites are going to be.
Okay.
We've got one coming up at Southern Community Bank in the middle of February, so we make sure that we can support that one if you can.
Make a Valentine's gift of blood to somebody.
Absolutely.
Lana, thank you, dear.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate
Well, you
it.
come back and see us. And
I'll do.
Give blood, folks. Save somebody's life. We'll be right back.
Serving you as a local firefighter.
Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force. Serving Tullahoma. Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
How can toys like these lead to a 6-year-old's death and leave another child permanently brain damaged? Because they're not toys at all. A safety message from your local fire department and this station.
Oh, there's my cat. Should I put her away?
Lighten it up a little bit.
How's this?
Great. Good. There we go.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors, and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Cove Lake, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Martin Weakley, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, Rugby in the Big South Fork, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
All right, folks, we're back. This past Saturday night, the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center had an opening of the Elvis exhibit, and because it's Elvis's birthday month, we had a huge birthday party for Elvis, and the two exhibiting artists, Darlene Shadden and Ms. Thang, were there, and it was a ball. We're going to take you there right now. This is Elvis's birthday party at the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center, and there are Elvis fans all around, and it's going to be a great night, and I think Elvis himself is going to be here to perform for us. Is everything here celebrating Elvis, from a popcorn machine, and in the front room there are Elvis movies playing tonight, and Elvis is everywhere. Ms. Thang, who we met downstairs, is a cutout artist, and she's the one who has done all the cutouts that you'll see of Elvis during his different times of his life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am with Ms. Thang, and she is one of the featured artists at the Fine Arts Center this month. And Ms., where are you from, dear?
I'm from Hawkinsville, Georgia.
Hawkinsville, Georgia. And how do you describe your art?
I describe my art as raw, funky, out of the box, just no rules. That's about it.
Now, a lot of this, and I'm going to show some of it on the wall behind you.
All right.
These are cutouts.
Right.
And what material do you use?
I use cabinet grade birch if I can get what I want, because it's pretty durable and lightweight. And I start with a big 4x8 sheet, and I draw them off on the wood, and I cut them out and sand them and paint them, and I paint with my fingers.
Paint with your fingers?
I do. I feel like I'm passing along some of my special brand of mojo to people when I paint with my fingers on my art. So
some of that Elvis mojo out there.
That's right. And none of them are alike because I don't use any patterns. Once I draw one, that's that one done, and you know.
And they're mostly depicting the life of Elvis all the way through, aren't they?
Well, these were specially done for this show. I do other people other than Elvis. I mean, I do a lot of animals, women, other musicians, but these were done especially for this show. And yes, I did do a timeline. I started at Elvis's birth and I went all the way through his death. So if you start over here to my right and start reading and go all the way around the room and end up over there, you'll read about him from birth to death.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so a little history lesson.
Yeah, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
I am enjoying it and having a good time.
And then Darlene Shadden is the one who's done all the artwork of Elvis. And we will see numerous of these throughout the evening of every age of Elvis. Elvis is in the building. I'm standing in front of Elvis as portrayed by Darlene Shadden. She's the artist. She's right here in front of me, and she's at the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center this month, Elvis's birthday month. A lovely lady with great talent. How in the world did you get started
started in the music business. I didn't know what was going on in life till I was in 5th grade and Elvis came out with That's All Right Mama. So as far as the music business goes, he made me start this whole thing, and I have never forgot him. And when they asked me to do this Elvis thing, I couldn't wait to get started, and I have cranked them out, and I'm so proud of them. I hope to take it to Tupelo. I hope to take it to Memphis. Anywhere that they love Elvis, I want to go.
Right, and you've been in art for years?
25 years in art. I'm a teacher. I also would like to do a workshop here in Tullahoma. Do a portrait workshop, a 3-day or something like that. That would really be fun.
Well, you're welcome.
I know.
You can come here. You know you're welcome here.
It's so sweet here. We have a packed house.
What about this dapper lady with the hat and the jewels and the wonderful shoes? Huh?
I'll tell you what.
Where did all of that come from? What made you the way you are?
The universe brings it to me, and I just pick it up and go for it. You know, I would never do anything different. It's just perfect the way things are happening. I'm leaving it up to something higher than myself, and it just keeps on coming. It's coming really good right now. This is a bucket list. I am out of retirement and back into the program.
The way this works is you start at one end and start Elvis's career from the beginning and go around the building all the way to his death. So, great exhibit at the Fine Arts Center. Martha and Marilyn, right there. The bride over there. Children, adults, Elvis, everybody's happy at the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center. What a party. Happy birthday, Elvis.
This is J.D. Oliver here at the Smokehouse on Monteagle Mountain. My sisters Betsy, Nancy, and I'd like to thank you for supporting our family business for over 50 years.
Hello, this is Stella Parton, and I am standing here right in the middle of Jim Oliver's Smokehouse restaurant. But you need to come in here. We just got through doing a show. We also have a music scene going on here, and I want to invite you to come down because it is your mountain destination. Music on the Mountain in Monteagle, Tennessee.
My name's Betsy Oliver. I'm the kitchen manager here. We serve a lot of ribs and barbecue and fried chicken.
Hey, this is Sean Mayer, and I just want to let everybody know to stop in at the Smokehouse if you're ever on your way to Chattanooga or Nashville. They not only have a great gift shop, awesome food, great entertainment on Saturday nights, but beautiful cabins to stay in. Check it out.
Make the Smokehouse your mountain getaway destination. Stay in one of our 84 lodge rooms and 20 timber frame log cabins. Look around our trading posts and eat in our delicious restaurant. Enjoy Music on the Mountain every Saturday night featuring the best of Nashville. Our family hopes to see you this year at Jim Oliver Smokehouse.
Hi, Grandma. It's Jake. I'm calling to tell you I love you more than anything in the whole wide world, even ice cream. I love you more than spaghetti and meatballs. I love you more than snakes and monkeys and sharks and whales and praying mantises Bye, Grandma. Love you.
Let it all in with Charter Phone, including unlimited local and long-distance calls.
I love it. I don't know how you're doing that on that fine guitar.
You know, this is a John Gray special.
That's a John Gray special. It's
That's
amazing what you can get out of it.
Well, you know, it's been blessed by John Gray.
So
it's
it'll
got
be
all the good
okay,
notes.
right? It even plays some jazz, right?
And when I play the bad notes, they're John Gray notes.
They're John Gray notes. I liked it. I am so blessed to be on the set with John Cook today. John is going to be a member of the group that we have playing us Jazz on Jackson at South Jackson Civic Center this Saturday night. So you are the main.
I'm the guitar player. I'm the only guitar player.
You're the only guitar player.
Yes.
And you know, this is the first year that I've had local jazz musicians only do the show, and it's wonderful what we've grown in this community. I am so pleased.
There are so many insanely talented
and you're
people
one
around
of
here.
them.
Well,
Absolutely, of course. You seem to
Shucks.
know. You seem to know the right people. When I called Robert Hires to see if he would like to head up this night of jazz on Jackson, he got really excited about it. And Robert, of course, keyboard. And can you tell me some of the players?
Yes, and I'm going to have my little cheat sheet here because I got some resumes. Of course, everyone knows Robert Hires. If you've ever been to any musical theater in Tullahoma or McMinnville or anywhere,
Woodbury, you name it.
Yeah, he's done that. He's a phenomenal musician.
Yes, he is.
And just a wonderful, wonderful jazz cat. Probably, I mean, there's a handful of people that play jazz piano, but I mean, the guy, in terms of going in and playing with some of the top guys in the country, he can stand there toe to toe with them.
He can do it. Absolutely.
So,
and that's a real talent because not many people can do it.
And he's heading up the whole thing. He's the band leader, picked all the songs and all the musicians and stuff, and just a pleasure to work with him. I've learned, you know, jazz is a learning thing, and I've just learned so much playing with him.
And it's always evolving. It's always new every time you do it.
Yeah.
Billy Riggs, isn't he coming
down?
Yes,
Bill Riggs is going to be playing, and I didn't know this, but Bill Riggs has played with kind of he's kind of a Jimi Hendrix figure to jazz saxophone players. He played with Bob Mincer a couple of times.
Kidding.
No, and he's played with the Four Tops, and let me see who else. Lorna Luft.
Lorna Luft?
Yes, he played with Lorna
remember
Luft.
Lorna Luft.
I asked him, I said, come on. Bill, really? Come on.
And Billy Riggs is a graduate, along with Robert, of Tullahoma High School.
Yes,
and I believe they were both members of maybe Brian Guess's great jazz group.
Absolutely.
He had a lot of influence on our jazz musicians.
And he plays up with the MTSU ensembles, all the jazz ensembles all the time.
He comes and plays with South Jackson Street Band sometimes. I mean, the man is phenomenal.
Yes, he is. He's a phenomenal As a matter of fact, I was a little nervous when we were at rehearsal. You know, I'm playing, and he's sitting in front of me because of how we had everything set up, and I'm taking a solo. All of a sudden, I see this head turn, and he's got an ear towards me, like, I'm listening.
Yeah.
Like, uh-oh, I better play some good notes.
Well, it's a great group. Scott Young?
Yes, Scott Young is playing. Of course, everyone knows Scott. He plays with South Jackson all the time.
He plays alto sax. And,
yes, phenomenal, wonderful player.
He's another graduate of Tullahoma High School and another member of Brian's band. You know, he's just a wonderful musician.
That band spawned a lot of players.
It really
didn't
did.
Yeah.
You know, Mike Haynes, I was hoping we could get him to pop in.
Oh, that would have been nice. That would have been nice.
Don't know if we'll get him or not. We'll see. He might surprise us.
Yeah, he was a musical director for Larry Carlton for the longest amount of time, and I thought that'd be nice. That means
it would be nice.
A guy played with Larry Carlton played with me. That was nice. I can get as close as I can to Larry Carlton.
And Kyle Copeland. Oh my gosh, not a better jazz drummer in the state.
You know, Kyle is. I've had the pleasure of playing a lot with Kyle over the past couple of years. After the passing of his wife, I just took it upon myself to get that old man out of his house and get him playing. And I said, "You're playing," and he's like, he's so humble and he's so come on. I drug him, and the guy he would amaze me. We had a regular standing gig in Murfreesboro once a month, playing at this place called Liquid Smoke, and I drug him up there every month, and he would every month would new stuff would come out of him, and he just would amaze me. It was tremendously inspiring to play. And of course, he released the record with Vicki Collinsworth.
Exactly.
I guess it was last year.
And last year I played that record a lot at my house.
Yeah, beautiful. Voyage.
CD, it was wonderful. Voyage, yes.
Beautiful CD, beautiful music, and of course he released his own record called Bicycle Art.
Right.
You know, and so he's just ridiculous.
He's phenomenal.
I think everybody knows him.
And Anson
Honey.
He's playing percussion.
Yeah, they're actually going to swap back and forth. There's going to be some tunes that Anson's going to play kit and Kyle's going to play percussion, and there's some tunes where Kyle's going to play percussion and Anson's going to play kit. So they're swapping back and forth.
And who's on bass?
Of course, I am. Spencer Duncan.
Spencer, yeah. Spencer Duncan's on bass.
Spencer.
He's a wonderful player.
Oh, he's a wonderful player. He's a wonderfully well-rounded player, and the thing I like about Spencer is, you know, jazz guys we have a tendency to stick all these notes in there.
Right.
You know, we want to play fast and go, look
at this. Yeah.
I practiced a lot. Look, where do my fingers go? And we have a tendency to be a little nonsense. But Anson has this sort of, you know, no note before its time. Whenever he solos, every note just has purpose.
Perfect. It's there.
It's very purposeful.
He's right on top of it.
Yeah, and I love playing with him. He's actually a touring bass player. He plays with a band called Those Darlings, and they're kind of an acoustic proto-punk, I guess you could say it, kind of Americana punk or something. Does that make any sense?
That makes sense.
And he tours with them. They've got a record deal, and they've got a pretty good little following. And he does about 150 dates a year with them.
That's fantastic. I guess I need to mention that this show is Saturday night at South Jackson Civic Center. Tickets are on sale 455-5321, or you can go online www.southjackson.org. And there's a champagne reception that starts at 7:15. Tom Brees will be playing guitar, Puck was singing, and he's an awesome musician.
Oh, he's fantastic.
And champagne will be served, and we have an art exhibit. Your neighbor, is that right?
Yes. Cersei Diane King. My wife used to run the homeless shelter for a couple of years, and Cersei was a volunteer over there, and that's how we got to know him. So she's just a family friend.
And she's bringing her artwork in to show during the whole entire weekend, because we're also having a classical concert with Lisa Maurer on Sunday afternoon. So Diane's artwork will be shown through the weekend.
Isn't that nice?
Yes,
Here we are in Tullahoma, and you can go to the Civic Center and you get some nice art, and you get the Tom Brees out there doing the thing, and then you go in the other room and you sit down,
got all this jazz.
and you got all this jazz played by people that you know
Come
or
back
your
on
neighbor.
Sunday and get a classical concert. What else can you ask? Bring your jammies and spend the night.
That's right. Hey, I like that idea.
Party.
John, you got a coverall, a onesie.
Yeah.
I just got a little mental picture of John in a onesie.
By the way, ticket prices are $20 for adults, but if you're a season ticket holder, you get tickets for $15, and students are $15, and if you're a season ticket holder, $10.
That's
so it's a good deal.
It's a great deal. You know, and I forgot one other player.
Oh, that's right. Who?
Trumpet player David Buffet. Who's
of course, the new Motlow professor of music.
Yeah,
and he is an awesome
director.
player because he played with us over Christmas.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness.
Yeah, I played with him at the Civic Choir, and he's just a wonderful guy, tremendous addition to the community, to the musical community.
He's very knowledgeable.
Just about the nicest guy ever.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
You know, came into town and just was like, "Hey, I want to play," and you guys know any places to play, and you know.
And he's right ready to go. Jumped right in there. So I think that Robert has put together a phenomenal group of musicians.
Yes, and you know, we talked about. I want to mention one thing real quickly. We talked about it. While we were sitting over there chatting.
Bringing in the children.
Yeah, bringing in the kids. You know, jazz is a thing. It was created and invented by musicians playing live, and it's a live form of music. It's made to be played live. It's made to be listened to live.
You really need to be there.
Yes, you need to be there. And for everybody that's even appreciated jazz this much at some point, and you got kids, take them to the show. Bring them to the show. They need to be exposed. I always use the term, put some art in your ears. You know, we've got eye holes, and we've got mouth holes, and nose holes, and ear holes. And if you can take them there and get some art in their ears, you know, it sticks with them. It's appreciated. You know, they might grumble a little bit because it's not, you know, T-Pain or Wu-Tang Clan or whatever it is these crazy kids today are listening to. But the thing is that they, you know, it gets in there. My youngest, my oldest, Xavier, I drug him to a couple of shows that he did not want to go to. And it's really amazing when I go over to the house and they cook, you know, he's in his late 20s and he's married and all that stuff. I go over to the house, guess what he's listening to?
Jazz. Loves it.
Jazz. Couldn't stay. It was like, oh, do I have to go?
When did your interest get twerked?
I'm sorry?
When did you get interested in jazz?
Actually, I've always been, from the first time I heard it, my dad took me to go see Margaret Whiting and the Big Band Cavalcade. That was the first time I ever heard a big band. And they roared. I mean, it was just this roaring, loud, energetic, you know, do-da-da-do-da-didn't-do-da, just real up-tempo thing. And Margaret Whiting singing her little rear end off, and well, you know, and it was just amazing. And I remember as a kid, I think I was 6 or 7 or 8, you know, 2nd, 3rd grade. I remember just sitting there, just being stunned at how much sound. It was just so much, and it was just overwhelming. But that planted the seed. And then over the years, my dad would occasionally, of course, I was your typical white kid from the suburbs, Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple and all that stuff when I was growing up and in high school. But my dad would say, hey, you ever heard this Joe Pass guy? Listen to Joe Pass. And I'd put him on, and he'd be doing, you know, just simple arrangements that just sounded so cool on guitar.
And you were hooked.
I was in.
Yeah, it was going. I love it.
You know, and I just went.
What are some of the tunes y'all are going to be playing?
Oh boy, we're playing some Duke. Satin Doll's a Duke tune, but we're not playing Satin Doll. We're playing Take the A Train. Good. Which is Billy Strayhorn Satin Doll thing, and we're playing really only one contemporary tune called Little Sunflower by Freddie Hubbard. Okay. But most of the stuff is just jazz standards, beautiful ballads. The beautiful ballad that Tony Bennett and Bill Evans did, Bye Bye Blackbird. Bye Bye Blackbird, yeah. And Time After Time. That's a gorgeous little ballad. And we're playing some swing stuff too.
People that are worried that the jazz is going to be so far out that they won't recognize the tune, they can rest assured they'll be recognize some of these tunes.
Absolutely, they'll recognize the tunes, and we talked about this, that you know, you can take jazz into a very bizarre place if you want to, and we made the sort of conscious decision not to get too weird. Maybe just a little, you know, touch of it here and there, but we're not. It's the idea is that we're playing songs. If you get too weird,
somebody will hook you back in a little bit.
Right. Well, the idea is that we're playing songs. Right. We're playing songs that people recognize, and when we take solos, we're playing songs that enhance. We're playing songs that enhance the songs. And I believe everybody in the group will be soloing at some point. Is that true? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
there's going to be lots of soloing.
It's going to be a wonderful.
Lots of displays of fleet-fingered virtuosity.
Right. So don't forget, Saturday night, South Jackson Civic Center at 7:15 for the champagne reception, and then we have this great jazz group going at 8 o'clock. And I think, even though you're playing on a John Gray guitar, just think what you can do on a John
Cook guitar. Actually, I thought maybe he would have a thank you written on the back of this thing.
So I'm going to let you take us out with some little thing here.
Let's play it.
Oh wait, shall I play with you?
We're going to play a duet.
Okay, we're going to do a guitar.
Are we ready?
Here we go.
We'll call it
Ready?
what are we going to call it? The Just Plain Living Blues Etude.
Blues duo, and don't give me the lead, okay?
You can scat the lead.
Okay.
You know?
Four, 5, 5, 5, 3, 2, 1 for tickets at South Jackson Civic Center. Miss Fran will pick you right up. They're going to go off and leave us here forever.
That's all right. I can play.
You can do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the paint. I just knocked the tree over. This the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. You know, they do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the Paintworks at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
Doing whatever it takes to respect our customers' homes. Just one more way Charter is obsessed with serving you better.
All right, we're back, and appreciate John Cook, but don't need to diss the Holy Foresters at once. Okay? Just because it's not a Taylor. It's a Greg Bennett, and I'm here with Greg, Jay Gregory, and Valerie from Bell Buckle. They got me going crazy here because I want to be, and they're friends, and they have some great things to talk to you about because the Enchanted Village is going wild.
Oh, it is. There's a lot going on at the Bell Buckle Banquet Hall, the Valentine Dinner and Dance. And then there's also going to be an auction called Cabin Fever Auction.
Have you ever had cabin fever?
Oh, I have it now.
Are you going to go to the auction?
Well, sure I am. I don't know if I'll buy anything, but I'm sure there'll be lots of good stuff there to buy.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's this all about? Is this a new thing, the cabin fever auction?
No. The second one we've done, John, we did it last year, a 2-day auction. Went over tremendous. So we've had a lot of requests to do another one in Bell Buckle. We're doing it at the banquet hall. We empty out all the tables and chairs and fill it up with all kinds of things, antiques. It was a fabulous auction last year. I can't tell everybody. They need to show up because there's going to be a bunch of things. The first day, it's just select items on Saturday. But on Sunday, you can bring things that it's an open auction, I guess that's what we'll call it, where you can bring your things in and put them in. And we'll auction those things off if you have furniture or things that you want to sell. It's tremendous. We'll have food there, of course, and just short order things like hot dogs and hamburgers and things and barbecue. Great way to spend the day. You know, everybody with the cold weather coming in and
well, it's here.
Yeah, winter's here. So. Cabin Fever Auction, absolutely.
So this is kind of a different concept to me. What happens is if someone wants to call you now and say, look, I have an estate piece, and then you would look at that and say, okay, that is suitable to be in the auction on Saturday.
Absolutely.
So you pick the certain items that are big items, nice items. Yes. to be in the auction on Saturday. That stuff will already be selected and will be displayed.
Yes, I understand we have a man coming in from North Carolina that's bringing a lot of antiques and things. So we'll have some sellers bringing things into the auction of more, I should say, upscale things, and not necessarily super expensive things, but nice furniture, good stuff. And yeah, we'll look at anybody that has anything that's nice quality, things that they can put in the auction Saturday. We'll approve that. And then again, Sunday's kind of an open thing. You can bring your other items.
So you can bring your stuff from the house.
I've got lots of things I could bring from my house.
And y'all will put them.
They may not accept them though.
Well, she's got thousands of albums that never sold.
Yeah, we might sell those.
We'll have those on Sunday.
Valerie Smith for $1.99.
Well, I wasn't going to go that high.
And go through the shelf. I'll give them away as
What's the phone number? What's the phone number where they can call you right now? If someone has a piece that they think would be suitable for the Saturday auction, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, they can call right here. I'm going to look at it just for a second, make sure I've got them all right. You can call Jewel at 931-409-3910. Now, Jewel's our auctioneer, and he'll qualify the items if you have them, and you'll go through Jewel on those items that you want in the auction. If you want any information, you can call the Bell Buckle Banquet Hall at 931-389-0223. So those two numbers should get you there. It's in Bell Buckle. We changed the date from January to February. And what is that date in February?
I believe it's February 28th and 29th. They changed it that way because we're having a Valentine's dinner and dance. But if they really want to find out more information and definite information, I would visit the bellbucklebanquethall.com because the information on the Cabin Fever auction is right there.
And it's correct.
And it's correct. Up-to-date dates, times, what to do, phone numbers. So I definitely would check the bellbucklebanquethall.com for that information.
And I believe the auction's a week after the Valentine's Day. Yes, which that is February 16th, the Valentine's dinner and dance, and which I want to kind of talk about that a little bit. I'm excited. This is the first time that we've had anything like this in Bell Buckle, and I'm really, really excited about it to have. I'm trying to figure out where to put the 132-piece orchestra. We're going to have to build a brand new civic center and stage, I think. But it's going to be a lot of fun. In fact, I'm even thinking, I keep passing it back and forth on what we're going to serve. I think I'm going to do that big fancy buffet with the prime rib. I mean, that just sounds like a thing for Valentine's Day, doesn't it? To have a nice prime rib on a buffet.
For sure.
And I'll have these wonderful salads, and I think I'm just going to throw it all in and just really, really put the food tray on. I'm getting cabin fever too. I think in February we're going to eat good. You know.
Yeah, we're going to eat good in February, and we had a Valentine's dinner at the Legion for years and years and years, and had a prime rib, and it always worked well, and a carnation for the ladies, and there's a lot of folks that are looking for something special to do on Valentine's, and the opportunities just aren't out there like they used to be, and no need in driving to the city and getting all messed up and all that traffic and stuff when they can drop right off down into Bell Buckle and have the South Jackson Street Band, Peggy Burton, and that whole crew that she has that travels with her, and they're a real orchestra, folks. For those who haven't heard them, they how many pieces are there, Peggy? 19 pieces, and so I mean it's
the vocalist coming,
and it's a big band. And they're professional instruments, professional musicians. All of them are. Yeah. And they just do a fantastic job.
Well, we got a big buzz going on it. We're really excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We're already taking reservations.
Yes, we are. In fact, we've already got quite a few reservations.
Yeah, so if they want to go, they do need to make reservations and call the Bell Buckle Banquet Hall once again at 931-389-0223, and or go to bellbucklebanquethall.com and get the phone number there. But they do need to be calling and making reservations because this band is very, very popular. People are very excited about seeing it, and they're excited about having a nice romantic dinner at the Bell Buckle Banquet Hall. And you don't just have to bring your sweetheart. My husband and I were talking about this last night. We're going to bring our daughter because it's a family-oriented place, and so you can bring your family to it. family and friends. It's just something fun to do on Valentine's weekend, February 16th.
I'm going to bring my sweetheart. My wife's mad as heck, but I'm bringing her because she likes prime rib.
Oh,
But
man.
you can get the
Now,
whole
one
thing
thing,
for $25, but it's worth it because you get a full 19 orchestra band and a full
So it's
fancy
$25
dinner.
a head.
$25 plus
Ahead,
tax. Bell Buckle Banquet Hall, Saturday, February 16th. Dinner and dance, $25 plus tax. Doors open at 5:30. Dinner at 6. Dance at 7:30 to 10. And Peggy informed me that she will be there as the vocalist, which I think I knew that.
And you need to make sure, though, and I remind you, in your setup, there are a bunch of people that follow this group to dance, and everywhere they go and play, there'll be a minimum of 6 or 8 couples that come, to dance, because there's not a whole lot of opportunities around this area to have that kind of music played to dance to.
No.
And there are a lot of people that love to do the swing and those types of dance steps that this big band aggregation plays, and so that you'll need to have plenty of dance floor.
I'd like to encourage the younger people to come out also, because this is an experience, to experience this music that they really probably haven't experienced live. Or really been exposed to it, and it's really would be a neat experience for them to have a nice meal with your girlfriend, your mother, your grandmother, whoever you want to bring. I just think it's. I'm looking forward. I'm ready to do it tomorrow. I'm ready. I've really got cabin fever. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. John, I want to thank you guys
what about
also.
Where's Jeanette going to eat?
Oh, if she'll sit at the same table with my sweetheart, she'll be there. Yeah, no, she'll be there. I guarantee you. I want to thank you and the Channel 6 for helping us on some of the promotions that we've done. As you know, we had Rhonda Vincent there a few weeks ago, and we had a full house. Right. I know you all helped promote it for us.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people out of Manchester and Tullahoma, and I really appreciate you. We're becoming kind of a fun destination spot now. People are finding us, and they're having a good time, having a nice meal. And
how's Southern Charm doing?
Southern Charm, we made our projections this year, and
in other words, I shopped there.
we actually were up 100% this year over last year, and with this economy, I'm excited. It's becoming a destination spot too, kind of like the Bell Buckle Cafe, to come and shop. You won't believe when you go there to see the variety of things that we have and the caliber of the things. Right. We just got back from the Trade Mart, America Mart in Atlanta, and we just bought all the spring things. And the
How
girls
many miles
bought,
did you walk?
Oh, I can't talk about it. I was there for 4 days. There's 3 buildings, 18 stories in each. It's like incredible.
I've been there.
Yeah, that I saw maybe a fourth of it, I mean, it's huge. Yeah. But the girls just bought fabulous stuff that'll be coming out here soon. And
it's great.
You need to come by and see it. Some accessories and ladies' apparels and the scarves, and just beautiful, beautiful things.
All right.
Yeah.
Down in Bell Buckle.
Bell Buckle.
Jay Gregory, Valerie Smith, Bell Buckle Records, Bell Buckle Cafe, Bell Buckle Banquet Hall, Southern Charm, Valentine's Dance with Peggy Burton and the South Jackson Street Band, February 16th, Cabin Fever auction on February 25th and 26th and 27th. And we're out of here. These are great people right here. You got nothing to do. You got cabin fever. Drop on down into Bell Buckle. I'll guarantee you they will show you a good time and feed you mighty fine. We'll be right back after these messages.
Citizens Tri-County Bank has the checking, loans, savings, and traditional banking services you want. Plus free internet banking and bill pay. Bank your change, Visa gift card, and lots more state-of-the-art banking services. We focus on the service and services you want. So you can bank when, where, and how you want. At our offices or from just about anywhere. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank you'll ever need.
What is Rotary? We're a network of people like you. In fact, we're the original social network. More than 1 million of us live just about everywhere you can think of. And we mean everywhere. We get together to exchange ideas, grow our businesses, and make new friends. We volunteer to help our own communities or someone else's. We're right around the corner. Come join us. The name is Rotary. Rotary International. You're welcome.
This facility was built literally on the international date line to bring Charter customers tomorrow's technology first. Like Charter Internet, which was just made faster again. With speeds up to 100 megs, you can download a movie in 2 minutes. The #1 internet service provider in the nation. Click.
Fogelman, good luck with the presentation tomorrow.
Already nailed it.
Get Charter Internet Express for only $19.99 a month.
Hey.
All right, we're back. And,
I'm glad we're back.
great show.
Fun again.
Yeah,
Fun
a lot of
again.
fun.
Great show today.
A lot of fun. A lot of good people. A lot of things happening always around
I
here.
need to make sure I mention Lisa Mauer's concert Sunday afternoon at South Jackson Civic Center at 2 o'clock.
The chambermaids.
That's what I wanted to call them because I think that is so cute. Anyway, Lisa plays this wonderful piano. I think she's playing Chopin, Bach, Beethoven, and she has with her a cellist and a violinist that are fantastic. And it was in last week's paper. I hope everybody read that. So anyway, 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Jazz on Jackson Saturday night.
Saturday night with John Cook and Robert Hires and a bunch more.
And that bunch. They're all good.
And that whole
Who
bunch.
organized this group?
Who else?
Oh,
That's Peggy B.
For goodness sakes,
I
the
feel
jazz
like,
queen.
We do have wonderful talent in this town, and it's an awesome opportunity to get to present them.
Sure.
I'm real pleased.
So when you're doing Jazz on Jackson, is that what you think about for about 6 weeks? Jazz? And when you're doing South Jackson Goes Country,
no,
you think country?
I just think about what's happening in this moment. Yesterday is gone, and
Oh, that's not true. You're one. You organize ahead. You're one of the most
A little bit,
forward-thinking people I know.
oh, and tonight? No, it's too late to talk about tonight, isn't it? Tonight's done.
Tonight's
It'll be
done.
over time. That's it.
It'll be over time you see the show, so forget it. You know the Civic Center thing with the quarters? Isn't that tonight? Fourth quarter thing? Do you know anything about that?
No.
Well, it's too
Oh,
late.
come on, guys. Don't be bringing up stuff you don't know anything
Yeah, I don't know. I got not
What's his
me.
name again?
Not me. Engelbert Hunkerdink.
Yeah, oh, there you go. And it was great to see.
He almost did one of my songs one time.
okay.
Hey, folks, we're out of here. We appreciate you watching. Thank you for being with us. And when you go into one of our sponsors' locations, tell them thank you. And better than that, buy something.
Oh,
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.